Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Crochet for Baby. Please don't forget to like this tutorial. I really do appreciate your support. Now in today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this little jacket for little girls between 4 and 5 years old. You can also make it smaller or bigger from 2 years old up to 8 years old. Down here in the information box, I'm going to leave you some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. Also, at the end of the tutorial, I leave you the finished measurements. And remember, my channel is bilingual. All of my tutorials are always in English and in Spanish. Just click the little lamp down here next to my channel name, and it'll take you to my main channel page. There you will find all of my tutorials in English and in Spanish. Okay, so let's get started, and thank you for watching. Okay, to begin, I'll be using this 5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this Aran weight yarn. You can also use any medium number 4 yarn if you're in the US. The brand of yarn that I'm using, it's this one here. It's called Stylecraft Special Aran. This is in the color Lipstick, 1246. Now, to begin, I have 58 chains. This chain here is measuring about 37 centimeters, which is about 14.5 inches. Now, the stitch multiple to this base chain, it's multiples of 4 plus 2. Now, if your chain does not measure exactly like mine, then it's okay. Just continue. If you're off by a couple centimeters or maybe a half an inch, it's okay. Just continue with the same count. So here, like I said, I have 58 chains. Into the third chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to make a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into that third chain, grab a loop, and close. Into the next chain, we're going to do the same thing, 1 half double crochet into the next, and so on. This is all I'm going to do for this first row, just half double crochets. Now continue like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this first row. Okay, I'm here at the end of this first row. I have a total of 56 half double crochets. Now for the second row, chain 2 and turn. These 2 chains never count as a stitch. Now in this second row, what we're going to do is we're going to make 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and into this next stitch 2 double crochets. Let me show you. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make your first double crochet. That's 1, into the next, that's 2, and into the next, that's 3. Now into this fourth half double crochet, you're going to make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. This is all we're going to do for this second row. You're going to repeat and make 3 double crochets and into the next 2 double crochets all the way to the end. At the end of this second row, you're going to have 69 double crochets. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this second row. I have a total of 69 double crochets for this row. Here at the end, we're going to finish with 4 double crochets. We're not going to increase into this last stitch. So you should have 69 double crochets for the second row. Now for the third row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. The 2 chains never count as a stitch. Now in this third row, we're going to make 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next 2 double crochets. Let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet into the next, that's your second, that's 3, and this is your 4th. Now into this 5th double crochet, you're going to make 2 double crochets. Now this is how you're going to continue. For this third row, you're going to make 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next 2 double crochets. At the end of this third row, you're going to have 82 double crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have a total of 82 double crochets. Now for the fourth row, you're going to chain 2 and turn. The 2 chains never count as a stitch. Now in this row, we're going to make 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next 2 double crochets. Let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make your first double crochet. That's 1, into the next 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. This is how you're going to continue. For this fourth row, you're going to make and repeat 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next 2 double crochets. At the end of this fourth row, you're going to have 95 double crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. I have a total of 95 double crochets. Now for the 5th row, chain 2 and turn. Remember the 2 chains never count as a stitch. Now in this 5th row, we're going to make 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the next 2 double crochets. Let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make your first double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the next 2 double crochets. Now this is all you're going to do for this 5th row. You're going to make 6 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the next 2 double crochets. At the end of this 5th row, you're going to have 108 double crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this 5th row. I have a total of 108 double crochets. Now for the 6th row, we're going to begin using our pattern stitch. So chain 3 and turn. Now into this first double crochet right here, we're going to make 2 double crochets. So just insert your hook right there on top of the first double crochet and make 2 double crochets. Now skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd double crochet, make a single crochet, 2 chains, and into this same stitch, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Skip 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and into the 3rd, make a single crochet, 2 chains, and into this same stitch, make 3 double crochets. Again, skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd double crochet, make a single crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochets. This is all I'm going to do for this 6th row. Now at the end of this 6th row, you're going to have 36 of these shells. From here on, I'm going to refer them as shells. So I'll meet you at the end of this 6th row. I'm here at the end of this 6th row and I have a total of 36 shell stitches. Now for the 7th row, chain 1 and turn. On top of this first single crochet that we did here, or the last one that we did on the previous row, make a single crochet, chain 1, then go to the first shell and find your 2nd double crochet, 1, 2, and work a front post single crochet. Now chain 2, and inside this chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. Jump to the next shell and into the 2nd double crochet. Right here, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and inside the 2 chain space, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Jump to the next shell and into the 2nd double crochet, 1, 2, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and inside the 2 chain space, make 3 double crochets. This is all I'm going to do for this 7th row. So continue like this and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this 7th row. I have a total of 35 shells for this row. In the previous row, row 6, we had 36, but in this row we have 35. Now to finish, we're going to pinch the 2nd chain here at the end, and we're going to finish by making a single crochet. Now for the 8th row, chain 1, turn, and on top of this first single crochet, make a single crochet, chain 1. Now into the 2nd double crochet of this first shell, you're going to work a front post single crochet, make 2 chains, and inside the chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. So here's your first shell for the 8th row. Now same thing for the next row. Into the 2nd double crochet of the next shell, make a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then inside the 2 chain space, make 3 double crochets. This is all we're going to do for this 8th row. At the end of this 8th row, you should have 35 shell stitches. Continue and I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 8th row. I have a total of 35 shells. Now to finish, we're going to go here to the end and on top of this single crochet we're going to make a single crochet. Now for the 9th row we're going to chain 1 and turn. On top of this first single crochet, make a single crochet. Now I'm going to change this part here a little bit. I'm not going to chain 1 anymore, but rather I'm just going to go straight to the first shell and into the second double crochet, work my front post single crochet. Now chain 2 and into this chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. Jump to the next shell and into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets. This is how I'm going to continue for this 9th row. At the end of the 9th row we're also going to have 35 shells. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this 9th row. I have a total of 35 shell stitches. Now to finish this row and all the rows to follow up to row 12, we're just going to go on top of this first single crochet and make a single crochet. And this is how I finish the 9th row. Now for rows 10 to 12, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Here we're not going to chain 1 anymore, just like we did for the 9th row. So we're just going to go directly into the second double crochet of your first shell and work a front post single crochet, 2 chains. Inside each one of the chain 2 space you're going to make 3 double crochets. Jump to the next shell and into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then again inside the chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. This is all we're going to do for this 10th row, 11th, and 12th. So continue, repeat this row exactly in the same way, and I'll meet you at the end of the 12th row. Okay, I finished this 12th row. I have a total of 35 shell stitches, and it's measuring from the top of the neckline down to the last row. It's measuring about 15.5 centimeters, which is about 6 inches. Now, the yoke is done, so what we're going to do in the next row is we're going to divide the sleeves, and I'm going to start counting rows again. So here, for the front panels, each one, we're going to make 5 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to skip 8 shells for each one of the sleeves, and then for the back side I'm going to make 9 shells. So let me show you. So this is going to be row 1. Now here at the end I finished by making my last single crochet, so chain 1 and turn. So here we're going to go into the first shell and into the middle double crochet, which is the second, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains. Inside the 2 chain space make 3 double crochets. And this is what I'm going to do into each one of the next 4, so that I have a total of 5. So continue, and I'll meet you right about here to show you how we're going to divide the sleeve. I finished making these 5 shell stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, instead of going into the next fan and making our front post single crochet into the second, what I'm going to do is into this single crochet right here, I'm going to make a single crochet. Now, chain 6, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to skip 8 shells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And into the 9th shell, which is this one, into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet. Now chain 2, and into the chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. Now from here you're going to continue and work 1 shell on each one of these, so that you have a total of 9. And this is what it looks like once we divide the sleeve. Now if you want to add more chains here, you can. I think that for the size that I'm making this for, 6 chains is more than enough. So continue and work these 9 shells, and I'll meet you right about here to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making these 9 shell stitches. For the back side we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now this one here, we're going to make a single crochet into this single crochet, not the next shell. So here make a single crochet, chain 6 again, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. we're going to skip 8 shells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and into the 9th shell, which is this one here, into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet and 2 chains, and into this chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. Now here you're just going to continue and finish these last 4, so I'll meet you here at the end of this first row. Okay, finish making these last 5 shells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now to finish, we're going to make a single crochet here at the end. Now for this first row, you should have a total of 19 shells. We have 5 and 5 for each one of the front panels, and then we have 9 for the back side. Now for the second row, chain 1 and turn, and on top of this single crochet, make a single crochet. Into the second double crochet of this first shell, make a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then inside the chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. This is how you're going to work each one of these next 4 shells so that we have 5 shells in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll meet you right about here to show you how we're going to work these 6 chains under the sleeve. Okay, I finished making these 5 shells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what I'm going to do is into the first chain out of these 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm going to make a single crochet right here. So I have my, into this 5th shell, I only have my 3 double crochets. So now into this first chain, I'm going to make a single crochet. Now chain 2, and into this same chain here, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now skip 1 chain and into the next, this one here, make a single crochet, chain 2, and into this same chain, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now skip 1 chain and into the next one, this one here, make a single crochet. Now chain 2, and into this same chain, make 3 double crochets. Now the important thing here under the sleeve is that we have 3 extra shells. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now we're going to go to the first shell for the back side, which is this one here, and into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets into the chain 2 space. Now we're going to work these shells for the back side. You should have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll meet you here to show you again how we're going to work these chains under the sleeve. Okay, I finished making these 9 shell stitches for the back side. Now this is my last shell. I need to make my single crochet into the first chain. So right there, make a single crochet. Now chain 2, and into this same chain here, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Skip 1 chain and into the next, right here, make a single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Skip 1 chain and into the next one, a single crochet, and again 2 chains, and into this same chain 3 double crochets. The important thing here under the sleeve is that you have 3 shells. Now we have the first shell for the front panel. Into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets into this chain 2 space, and continue and finish this front panel. I'll meet you here at the end of the second row. Okay, I finished this second row and I have a total of 25 shell stitches. Now here at the end I made a single crochet. Now for the third row, chain 1 and turn. On top of this first single crochet, make a single crochet into the second double crochet of this first shell, make a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and inside the chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. Now continue doing the same thing for each one of the shells for a total of, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll meet you right about here to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I made these 6 shell stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm right here under the sleeve. Now to finish this 6th shell, we're going to go to the single crochet right here, not into the next shell, but into this single crochet and work a single crochet. Now chain 2 and into this same stitch make 3 double crochets. So here we're going to increase 2 shells. That's 3. Now go to the next shell and into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets into the chain 2 space. Now we have the next shell, but right here we have the single crochet before that. So into that single crochet, make a single crochet, 2 chains, and then into this same single crochet make 3 double crochets. So here's the second shell that we're going to increase, 1 and 2. Now go to the next shell, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and into the chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. Now here you're just going to continue for the back side and work these shells until you come to under the other sleeve, so right about here. So continue, and I'll meet you right here to show you the same thing that we did here on this other side. Okay, I'm right here right under the sleeve. I still have 6 more shells left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 actually. Now these are the 3 shells that we added, 1, 2, 3. So right in the middle between the first and the second, and then between the second and the third right here, this is where we're going to add 1 extra shell. So here I have my 3 double crochets, so go down into this single crochet and make your single crochet, chain 2, and into this same single crochet make 3 double crochets. Now make a front post single crochet into the next shell, into the second double crochet, chain 2, and into the chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then right here into this single crochet, make a single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And here are the 2 shells that we're going to increase in this row, 1 and 2. Now jump to the next shell and into the second, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets into the chain 2 space, and so on. From here on, you're just going to do the same thing. Continue and finish this 3rd row, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this 3rd row. You should have a total of 29 shell stitches. We added 2 extra shells under each one of the sleeves, so that gives us 29 shell stitches for this 3rd row. Now from here on, we're not going to make any more increases. We're just going to work these 29 shells. So for the 4th row, chain 1 and turn. On top of this first single crochet, make a single crochet into the first shell, into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets inside the chain 2 space. This is how you're going to continue for this 4th row. So continue, and I'll meet you here at the end of the 4th row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. I have a total of 29 fans. Now to finish, I made a single crochet here at the end. From here on, this is the row that we're going to repeat for the length of this sweater. So to start you off, for the 5th row, chain 1 and turn. Now beginning on top of this first single crochet, make a single crochet, and into the first shell here, into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets inside the chain 2 space. So like I said, from here on, this is all we're going to do. We're not going to increase anything, just work these 29 shells in the same exact way for every row. Now, I'm not exactly sure how many rows I'm going to do for the rest of the sweater, but continue watching and I'll let you know exactly how many rows we're going to do. So I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this part here. Now, I have a total of 32 rows from the first row where we started to make our pattern stitch up to this last row. There's 32 rows. Now, this part here I had already recorded. I had already done this bottom part. I had already done the edge here around the front panels and then around the neckline, but unfortunately when I was editing my video, this part here was lost. So with that said, I had to undo everything except for the sleeves. If you notice, I already have sleeves, but it's because of that. So I'm telling you all of this because if you notice any sleeves while I'm doing this part, it's because I had to redo this here. So the only part that was missing on my video was the part where we do the bottom here and then the rows that we go around. So everything else, just continue watching and it should be the same where I showed you how to do the sleeves next. So to do this part here, it's measuring from the neckline here down to the last row. It's measuring about 15 inches, which is about 38 centimeters. And like I said, I have 32 rows. So let me count them for you. We have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32 rows. Okay, so here to do row 1, since we're going to change our pattern here, we are going to chain 3 and turn. Now, what I'm going to do here inside each one of the chain 2 spaces is 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Inside the next one, 3 double crochets, and so on. This is all we're going to do for this row, so continue and I will meet you here at this end. Okay, I'm here at the end of this first row. Now to finish here at the end, we're going to make a double crochet. And this is what our first row looks like. Now what we're going to do for the second row is we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to work front post and back post double crochets. I don't know, for maybe about 3-4 rows, I'm not sure. Now, if you prefer, you can also do single crochets on top of each one of these double crochets. I know some people have a hard time doing front post and back post double crochets, so if you prefer, like I said, you can do single crochets. Maybe do 4 or 5 rows, depending how wide you want this part to be, and that should also work as well. Okay, so here to do front post and back post double crochets, I'm going to start with this first double crochet and make a front post double crochet into the next back post double crochet, into the next front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, and so on. This is all I'm going to do for this second row. I'm just going to alternate between a front post and a back post double crochet all the way to the other side. I will meet you there to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I'm here at this other end. Here to finish, we're going to pinch the second chain right here and we're going to make a double crochet. And this is how I finish the second row. Now, I forgot to mention that if you're going to make single crochets here, instead of making 3 chains, you need to do 1 chain and then turn, and then on top of the last double crochet here, make a single crochet and then continue working single crochets. You don't need to do the 3 chains here. That's only for people who are making single crochets instead. Now here for the third row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Here we're going to do, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 rows. Continue watching and I'll let you know exactly, but we're just going to work these stitches in the same way. This next stitch is a back post double crochet. Next one, front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post double crochet. This is how I'm going to work the next 3 to 4 rows. When you finish here, you're just going to go on top of the second chain and make your last double crochet, chain 3, and then repeat the same thing. Continue watching. I'll let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. I think maybe 3 or 4, but I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I did a total of 3 rows of front post and back post double crochets. This here is about 1.5 inches. If you want to make it wider, you can just continue and add more rows. Just make sure that you finish here on the right side, because now what we're going to do, we're going to work half double crochets here along the side. So here, to do this, we're going to chain 1, and here into the last double crochet that I did, make your first half double crochet. 1 half double crochet into the next space, 1 half double crochet into the next, and so on. Now make sure that you do these half double crochets nice and loose like this, and that's all I'm going to do. You can also use a bigger hook if you prefer to do this, but I'm just going to make my half double crochets nice and loose. Now continue like this, and I'll meet you here at the top. Okay, I finished making these half double crochets along this side. I have a total of 43 half double crochets up to here. Now here in these rows of double crochets for the yoke, I did 2 on the first row, then I did 1, then 2, 1, then 1, and then 1. Now, if you have 1 or 2 stitches less or more, it's okay, just continue. The important thing here is that you're going to do the same number of stitches that you did here on the other side. That's all. So if it looks okay to you, then just continue with the rest. So now here into this last one, I did 1 half double crochet. I'm going to do 1 more because now I'm going to turn here. So here I'm going to also work half double crochets around the neckline. And I'm just going to do 1 half double crochet for each one of these chains that we did here for the first row. See, like this. So continue, and I'll meet you at the other end. Okay, I finished making these half double crochets around the neckline. Here at the end into this last chain, I did 2 half double crochets. Now we're going to work our way down doing the same thing. So into this next row, make 1, into the next, make 2, into the next, 1, into the next, 2, into the next, 1, and from here on you're only going to do 1 half double crochet. So let's see, like this. So 1, and then 1, 1, and 1, and so on. Make sure that you have the same number of stitches as you did on the other side. I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, I finished making my last stitch. I have a total of 43 half double crochets. Then I just cut my yarn and pass my yarn through this last loop. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to this other side. This is where we started, and I'm going to bring this loop here to the front like this and chain 1. Now, insert your hook into the next stitch space right there and make a slip stitch, chain 1. Insert your hook into the next space, slip stitch, chain 1. This is all I'm going to do all around, just like this. Now, if you don't want to cut your yarn, then just chain 1, turn, and then maybe do front post and back post half double crochets all around, or maybe just do 1 more row of half double crochets all around. That is all I'm going to do. I'm not going to make any more rows here. I'm just going to continue in the same way. So I will meet you here at this other end to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished here at this other end. All I did here was just join to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and then pass my yarn through this last loop. So now I'm just going to hide this end here on the inside. So this part here is done, and that's what it looks like. Now I added these buttons. I only added 3. Now the size of these buttons are, let's see, these are 1/2 inch or 12 millimeter buttons, and I used these, and I only added 3, but if you want to add more, you can. Remember that the buttons go on the left side because the buttonholes go on the right side for girls. So here, buttonholes, we did not do any buttonholes whatsoever here because we only did 2 rows here on the side. So what I did instead is these stitches that we did, the half double crochets right in between, there's a big gap. So I'm using these spaces here as buttonholes, which work out perfectly, as you can see. So that's all I did. Now we're going to continue with the sleeve. As you can see, my sweater is done, but I already explained that I lost all of this information where I show you how to do this part, so I had to re-record. So we're going to continue here on this side where I show you how to do the sleeve. Then you're going to do your sleeve, and then I'll come back and show you my finished sweater, and I'll give you the finished measurements. So I'll meet you back once our sweater is all done. Okay, so we're going to start here on this other side. You're going to do the exact same thing for both sides. So I'm just going to show you here, but you're going to do exactly the same thing. So here, with our yarn and our hook, we're going to find the center here. This is where we have, let's see, right here, right in the center. So just find a spot in the center. To me, I'd say it's about here. So insert your hook here, grab a loop, and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a spot between the first pattern stitch and the 3 chains. So I would say right about here. And I'm going to make, so single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now here's our first stitch for the sleeve. We're going to find the second double crochet and work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and into this chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. So far I have 2 pattern stitches, 1 and 2. Now jump to the next, front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets. This is all I'm going to do now for the sleeve. So I'm just going to go around, and I'm going to meet you right about here at the end of on this other side to show you how we're going to finish this first row. Okay, I'm here at this other side of the sleeve. I have a total of 9 pattern stitches here so far. I'm going to make one more so that we finish with 10. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find a spot between the 3 chains here and this last pattern stitch that I did. So I'm going to do it right about here. I think that should be fine. So make a single crochet. Let me see the gap. Nope, it's perfect. It's not as big. 2 chains, and then into this space here, 3 double crochets. Okay, now you should have 10 pattern stitches all around. To finish, we're going to join here to the side. You can pinch the second chain, or you can just insert your hook there, which is what I'm going to do, and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finish the first row with 10 pattern stitches all around. Now for the second row, we are going to chain 2 and turn. So now we have our 2 chains. So into the second double crochet here, we're going to work a front post single crochet, 2 chains. Inside this chain 2 space, you're going to make 3 double crochets. And now here is where we're going to reduce. Now to finish this stitch, we would normally make a front post single crochet into the second double crochet. I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to go into the chain 2 space here and make a single crochet, and then again I'm going to go into the second double crochet of this next stitch right here into the double crochet and work a front post single crochet. And here is where I just reduced one of the fans. Now chain 2 here, and inside the chain 2 space make 3 double crochets, and that's how we're going to reduce. Let me show you again. I want to make sure that you get this part because really this is the only row that I'm going to reduce. So we have the 3 double crochets, we have the chain 2 space of the next fan, make a single crochet, and then into the second double crochet of these 3 double crochets here, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets inside the chain 2 space. And that's how we reduce one stitch. And that's all we need to do. Now into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets. From here, you're just going to do the same thing. You're just going to work your pattern stitch until you come to right about here. Here we're going to reduce this here, so I'll meet you right here to show you how we're going to finish this second row. Okay, I'm here at this other side of the second row. Up to here I have 7 of our pattern stitches. Now we're going to do one more reduction. We're going to reduce this stitch here. So to do our single crochet, I'm not going to go into the second double crochet of these 3, but rather I'm going to go inside the chain 2 space and make a single crochet, and then into the next group of 3 double crochets, into the second double crochet, I'm going to make my front post single crochet. Now chain 2, and into this last chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. And now if you count each one of our pattern stitches, you should have 8. To finish, we're going to go here to the side of the 2 chains and make a slip stitch. And here is the second row with 8 pattern stitches. From here on, we're not going to work any reductions or anything. We're going to continue with these 8 stitches. So chain 2 for the third row and turn. Now we have the first 3 double crochets, into the second double crochet, make a front post single crochet, 2 chains, inside the chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. And then into the next group of 3 double crochets, into the second double crochet, work a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then inside the chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. From here on, this is all you're going to do, so continue all around, and I will meet you at the end of this third row. I'm here at the end of the third row. I have a total of 8 of our pattern stitches. Now to finish, here to the side where we have the 2 chains, join with a slip stitch. This is how you're going to finish each one of the rows from here on. And to start each row, you're going to chain 2 and turn. You're always going to turn, and into the second double crochet of these 3 double crochets, make a front post single crochet, 2 chains, and then inside the chain 2 space, make 3 double crochets. Front post single crochet into the next group of 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets inside the chain 2 space. This is how you're going to continue for this fourth row. At the end, you're going to finish with 8 pattern stitches. Continue, and I'll meet you once again here at the end of this row to show you how to finish each row from here on and how to begin each row from here on. I'm here at the end of this fourth row. To finish this row and all the rows to follow, you're always going to go here to the side of the 2 chains and join with a slip stitch. Now chain 2, turn for every row, and you're going to work a front post single crochet into this second double crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets inside the chain 2 space, and then a front post single crochet into the second double crochet, 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets into the chain 2 space. At the end of every row from here on, you're always going to have 8 of our pattern stitches. Here to finish, you're just going to join to the side with a slip stitch, chain 2, turn, and then repeat the same thing. I'm going to do this for about 20 rows, so continue, and I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I did a total of 22 rows. I think I had mentioned to do 20, but no, we need to do 22 rows. So here I joined to the side with a slip stitch, chain 2, and then turn. So I'm here on the right side. So to do this next row, inside each one of the chain 2 spaces, we are going to make 3 double crochets. Now, if you want to make your sleeve longer, you can. I'm just going to make my sleeve up to the wrist, up to here. So 23 rows plus a couple rows of single crochets will be perfect, but you can make yours longer if you want. So continue around this row, just making 3 double crochets inside each one of the chain 2 spaces, and I'll meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end. I have a total of 8 groups of 3 double crochets. Now to finish, go here to the side where we have the 2 chains and join with a slip stitch. Now for the next 4 rows, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to chain 1, and on top of the first double crochet of this first group of 3 double crochets, make a single crochet. Single crochet on top of the next, single crochet on top of the next, and so on. Here we're just going to work single crochets all around. When you finish, you're going to join to the top of the first single crochet with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then make your first single crochet again into this same stitch. Then again continue around and make single crochets. We're going to do this for a total of 4 rows. This is how it's going to look once it's done. I did 4 rows here of single crochets, and then this last row here in this color white. So continue, do 4 rows, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making the 4th row single crochet. Here all I did was just join to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and pass my yarn through that last loop. Now what I'm going to do is with this white color, into this same single crochet where I did the slip stitch, I'm going to pull this loop through, chain 1, into the next stitch, insert your hook and make a slip stitch, chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1, slip stitch, chain 1, and so on. This is how I'm going to continue for this last row. So continue, finish, join to the first stitch here with a slip stitch, cut your yarn and pass your yarn through that last loop, and then I'll come back and show you the finished cardigan. Okay, I finished making this last row. Here at the end, all I did was just join to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and then pass my yarn through that last loop, and the sleeve is done, and that's what it looks like. Now you're going to do the exact same thing I did here on this side. You're going to do it here on this other side. I did it in the exact same way. Nothing changes. You're just going to follow the same instructions as you did here. Now, let me give you the finished measurements. From the top of the neckline down to the end of the sleeve, it's measuring about 44 centimeters, which is about 17.25 inches. From under the sleeve up to the end of the sleeve, it's measuring 9 inches, which is about 23 centimeters. Now this part here, right across, I'm not sure what this is called. If anybody knows, let me know. It's this part here across. Many of you asked me about that measurement. So right across here, it's measuring about, let's see, 7 inches, which is about 18 centimeters around the chest area. This part here, it's measuring about 26 inches, which is about 66 centimeters. And from the top of the neckline down to the end here, it's measuring about 19 inches, which is about 48.5 centimeters. So based on these measurements, this little jacket here is for little girls between 4 and 5 years old. Now you can also make it smaller or bigger from 2 to 3 years old up to about 8 years old. Down here in the information box, I'll leave you some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.